What's going on YouTube? It is Repulse back in another video. In today's video, we have another 7-round mock draft here for the Houston Texans. You can see the draft order has changed. After this last couple of games, you can see the Raiders lost to the Giants, so they now have the rights to the #1 pick. And our Houston Texans are all the way down in 26th after the Bears lost, the Bills lost, and then obviously the Texans beating the Chargers to win 8 straight games and improve our seeding to the 6th seed or the 5th seed in the AFC, likely with a matchup against the Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens here. Um, so here at 26, falling down the draft board ultimately means that you're not going to get the guy you probably want in the first round, especially since you're pretty accustomed to being at 21 to 22. So, 5 picks in between. You can see if you wanted to get a run stopper, you could have got a Cade McDonald there if you held your draft position, or a Caleb Banks. But this team's all about winning games, all about making a run in the playoffs. So I don't think anyone's going to be too mad at the Texans being picked 26. It just means you had a successful season at the end of the day. And here at 26, you can see Ione still there. I think that would be incredible if he fell to the Texans. I think you could get an explosive threat in Casey Conception, although you saw the explosion in the offense this past week. Caleb Lomu is also a great left tackle option, but he's probably going to play right tackle for the Houston Texans if we do draft him. But I do this pick a lot. I think it's probably one of the best fits for the Houston Texans, especially not knowing the future of Ed Ingram, and that is getting Ione here at number 26. You could obviously always argue Pregnon. I really, really like Pregnon's game. I've said it multiple times, but I do think Ione is probably the true best guard in this draft. So that's why he is ultimately there at number 26 for our Houston Texans. Here at number 39, um, you look at the options, and I think I've done this in a draft before, but I really like Amari Washington. I think if he's there at 39, that's a no-brainer for the Texans because you do need depth on the interior defensive line. Um, so yeah, I think that's gonna be my pick there. But I'm actually going to do something here. I want to trade up in this second round. We do have our own second round pick, but I'm thinking maybe something like this can get us 47. Even if I take that out, 18, 41, and then 239, 165. Huh. If we do something like that, we'll see if the Lions are able to accept that to move up 11 spots to 47. We're staying here at 39. It's not accepted this time. It is accepted that time. Okay. So we're up to 47 in this draft. So uh, we're going to be able to get Omari Washington here at pick number 39, one of the best fits in this draft, I feel. And then I did trade up here for a specific reason. I do like the idea of Jeremy Bernard being a Texan. I think Amari Washington's one of the best picks the Texans could make in the second round. True junior, he's only 21, 22 years old headed into the league. Aone, I think, is the same thing. Redshirt junior, so 1 year older, technically. But yeah, two guys to bolster the interior. Two guys that we desperately need. Yeah, I think two guys that I really, really like. Um, and here at number 47, I did this trade up because I thought this guy would go before my pick down here at number 58, and that is AJ Halsey. I think the Texans do need another safety. I do really like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren's game. I think Halsey and Warren are my two favorite safeties in this draft after obviously Caleb Downs, who went number 4 today. Um, but yeah, those are my two favorite safeties after obviously the guy that the Texans aren't able to get in Caleb Downs. So you make that move up just to ensure that you're given a shot to get your guy. If you don't, then it kind of sucks. But you still have great options here. You could even go Emmanuel Pregnon here if you want to. You could go Connor Liu, Corleone, Slaughter, but I made this move up to get AJ Halsey. That is going to be my pick. And then we still have the Giants pick here at number 66, which is at the top of the third round. Um, all the guys that I was really considering here, especially Connor Liu and Jake Slaughter, both got drafted. So center's going to have to be placed on hold likely until later in this draft. I do really like Pat Coogan. I've said that before. I've had him in a draft before. But here at number 66, I think you kind of just go best player available. You could really bolster that D line. Um, it could be a trade down spot if you really want it to be. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's really looking like a trade down spot here at 66. If you do think about it, Emmanuel McNeil Warren wouldn't be a bad pick if you want to get more safety depth. We don't know what the future of Derek Barnett or Darrell Taylor or Dylan Horton are, so you could go edge rusher, you could go Derek Moore, but I think you can move down just a little bit here. 66 to 76 isn't bad. You can try to get your pick back and give them 10 or 206. No, they wouldn't. If you get 112 and 151, and then you give 206, 239. We'll see if that gets accepted. It is. Um, so yeah, moving up, moving down the board, kind of a Nick Casario thing. Moving down to 76 here. Derek Moore does in fact go, but I think you feel more confident picking right here rather than up there when you don't really have a fit, unless you want to go Dominique Orange. But we did get in interior defensive line earlier in this draft. I think you could definitely go running back here. You see the running backs on the board. They did take Mark Fletcher down because he did say he was returning to college, but I like Seth McGowan's game. I think he is a very solid back. I do like LJ Martin's game. I think he's an incredible back too. One of the most productive running backs in college football. Good frame, good size. I think this is going to be my pick here at number 76. Or Emmett Johnson, who was also incredible for Nebraska this year. Um, you know, we do run a lot more. Um, I believe it's gaps. Yeah, we run more gap scheme, but I think LJ Martin can play both in case Nick Caley's not here next year. So that's what we're going to do there at number 76 is improve our run game with Mr. LJ Martin from BYU. Here at 107, this is where you can look at maybe getting a athlete at linebacker like a Harold Perkins. This is where you could go best player available, get a Caden Green who can play guard for you if you want to back up guard. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Could get edge depth. Yeah, you could really go anywhere that you want here, and I think it'd be justified because of how strong the team is right now. For me, I do think it's important that we do bolster the offensive line in any way, shape, or form that we can. And I think Caden Green's more of a guard in the NFL, but even then, we could take a guard any day of the week, and I think it'd be warranted. So, yeah, Caden Green's gonna be my pick there, and then we're pretty much straight back up. I would like Jayshon Barham to fall a little bit. I do think he's a very good player, um, but ultimately doesn't. It's fine. You can look at edge depth if you want. I like Clev Lubin. Um, I think this could be another trade down spot, to be honest. Um, but I do really like Skylar Gill Howard. I think you could get more depth on the interior defensive line. And I think he's a very good player at that. Just not really the best size, but he can get to the quarterback at that D line position. I think that's pretty much what he's known for. I do like Albert Regis. Obviously, not the biggest either. Not very many big interior defensive linemen here. Tim Keenan, same thing. David Oke, same thing. Cole Brevard, mediocre size. So maybe that rises his stock just a little bit, but yeah, I do like Skylar Gill Howard's game. Rayshon Benny's the same thing, not the biggest. You see he has the height, but not the weight, but definitely has the athleticism. But yeah, I do really like Skylar Gill Howard's game, so it's going to be my pick there at 112. Moving down the board, we don't have a pick until 152, and this is where you go with a project linebacker, I think, and that is going to be Harold Perkins for me. Um, Done this a lot. I think we could use an athlete there. I think he will end up maybe going back to college, but I do think he's talented enough um, to, warrant a decent pick in this draft. And that is all. Had a lot of high picks. Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks in this draft. Started off with the Ione, went with Amari Washington, then AJ Halsey, LJ Martin, King Green, Skylar Go Howard, and Harold Perkins. So decent mix of offense and defense there. Investing in the O line early, investing in the interior offense and defensive lines early with our first two picks. So, you know, two offense, two defense to start out, and then offense, defense, defense to finish it out. Um, I do think the offense needs a lot more attention heading into this draft, but I don't think you need to look at wide receiver. Don't think you need to look at tight end. I think it's just running back and offensive line that you're really looking at improving into this draft, and I think Ione is a great pick there. If he falls to 26, which, I doubt he does, but he's there, you got to take him. You can argue Pregnon will be there at 26, and maybe that's the selection there. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this mock draft down below in the comment section. If you did enjoy, please be sure to like, subscribe, and as always, it's Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.